assuming COVID is over by 2022, is there a Freshers Week at the college, and where can I sign up to clubs and societies? So I will just start my answer, and then perhaps we can go around and you can explain maybe what it has been like in college sort of in the past year or so. There is normally a very big Freshers Week in Oxford. It is known as North Week here. And usually in non-COVID times, there is sort of like a freshers event fair at the examination schools where you can find out loads more about different societies and clubs and things you can get involved in. But I will let the panel talk to you about what it has been like during COVID. So would anyone like to go first?
I mean, I've got nothing to kind of compare it against, but it's been very different and very weird. I'm not going to lie. I mean, at the very beginning, it was okay because things weren't kind of locked down just yet. And we had a virtual freshers fair, which was just like a completely interactive thing. But there's also like a long list of every single club and society you can just kind of trawl through. And also, if you kind of think of literally any of your interests and then type in society after it, more than likely it will come up as a society. So that's kind of how I found things as well. But there are also more niche societies, not just for interests, but like, I mean, there's a first gen society, and there's ones that are targeted at specific individuals and specific groups as well. So you can feel like you can find more people like you as well, which is also really important. So for example, like the Afro-Caribbean Society for me was really important when I got there. And that was something that I wanted to get heavily involved in as well. And yeah, in terms of the year with COVID, I mean, I think I've got quite a weird view of it because I caught COVID in like 7th week of the first term, which was obviously quite difficult. But I also got long COVID, which is why I've rusticated and I'm taking the time out and I'm coming back next year. So for me, it kind of it caused havoc on my year, to say the least, really. But I mean, I took the time out and it's been for the best because I've kind of discovered what I wanted to do. And I mean, yeah, without going into too much detail, it's been really good taking the time off. But it was very strange because I had the first 8 weeks in Oxford. I think the last 3 weeks were all in lockdown, and then for the second term I didn't go back. So I have only been in Oxford for a very small amount of time. But my friends are the freshers reps or the freshers president even for next year. That the freshers events and things, they're already being planned now. They've been planned for the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, there's a lot of thought and a lot of effort goes into it. So I mean, yeah, it's still, even in COVID times, regardless of what it will look like in 2022, it should still be a good week.
I had my freshers week like 2 to 3 years ago now, so quite a while ago. It was very different, obviously, because it wasn't during COVID. Freshers Week is usually like a very big kind of week for a lot of freshers, not only because, you know, you're moving into university for the first time and like you're getting to know people, but generally because there's so many events going on, and it's kind of hard to wrap your head around like how many events that you'll be going to be able to go to. But yeah, like Freshers Week for me was very, I actually did not go to like a lot of Freshers events. I kind of stayed in, which I wouldn't recommend because I think Freshers Week is like a really good week to like start off getting to know people and like, you know, setting down like foundations for potential friendships. But if you don't go to Freshers Week, that doesn't mean that you won't like find friends later on. But I often found that there was an activity that was made for everybody. So usually Freshers Week across like not only in Oxford but like across universities is known for like clubbing. But not everybody goes clubbing or like is very interested in clubbing or like, you know, even like or like drinking socials. So I know Pembroke also made an effort to do other events that were for students that weren't really into those types of things or like didn't really want to go to those types of things. So yeah, I wasn't really into, I wasn't initially into clubbing. I was kind of eased into it. But yeah, there were a lot of like different kind of activities. It was a really hectic week. But I would say that it's if you know, COVID doesn't put like that much of an impact, is usually like a really great week and a great start to your kind of Oxford journey.
I think for me, COVID didn't really hinder me from making friendships with different types of people, especially in college and both in college and outside of college. In college, I feel like I made friends and socialized with a lot of people that I needed to. In the sense that I didn't really COVID did stop us from mixing with other households and stuff, but the people in my household were really, really nice, and I feel like that was that made up for it. And also outside of college, like I'm involved quite a lot in the ISOC, so Islamic Society, and I think that really did bring my Freshers Week together, because the drinking culture in Oxford is quite strong, and I feel like, yeah, it is avoidable. It's easily avoidable, but college also put on things for you to enjoy, where you obviously don't associate with that kind of stuff, and that was really enjoyable too. But yeah, it's really nice because I remember one time the college were giving like free drinks or something to everyone in the house, every household in Pembroke here, yeah. And they were just like, yeah, we're gonna bring you free drinks, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know, should I go to do I go to the my friend's room? I was like, you know what, let me just go, let's see how it goes. And they were so nice. They were just like, yeah, you know what, Isa's here, like we won't drink, let's just chill and have like squash, and that is fine, you know, we don't have to drink today. So they're just really, really nice about that. And I think if you have people like that around you, you'll be absolutely fine. Just associate yourself with people like that, and yeah, you'll have a good week. Yeah, that's specifically for people that obviously don't drink. And like there's so many other like societies out there. Like I remember looking, and it's like a Harry Potter society on the Oxford page, and I was like, this is so cool. Obviously probably not as active as before because of COVID, but yeah, there's so many things to get involved in. And even if you don't find something that you're interested in, you can make a society for that yourself. Yeah, there's so much you can do.
Overall, with Freshers Week, there's a place for you here, and there's always something to do, and that's what I really like about Oxford, is that there is always something to do.